about Anna and the cat. Anna is a little girl who likes to play with building blocks. She likes to make anything tall, building, twin tower, or castle. The cat, on the other hand, likes to destroy things. So whatever Anna was building, the cat would try its best to break down the building or destroy the building into big pieces. So I would like you to think about Anna the cat whenever you are trying to remember what anabolic reaction does and what catabolic reaction does. Anabolic reaction is a process whereby the enzyme will help to build up the substrate. So they're making a bigger molecules from smaller molecules. So one of the example is photosynthesis. Here we all know what the equation of photosynthesis are. So we start with relatively smaller molecules such as carbon dioxide and water. And although enzyme is not mentioned in this equation, enzymes are actually involved in this process. So what the enzyme does is actually make the smaller molecules, carbon dioxide and water, combine it together, build up and make something bigger, just like this glucose. Carbon 6 is much bigger than one carbon, for example. So this is an example of anabolic reaction, making a bigger macromolecules from smaller molecules. So this is an example in terms of enzyme and substrate. So as you can see here, we are starting with two smaller substrates, which is the key, which will fit perfectly into the active site of this enzyme, also known as the lock. It will form this enzyme substrate complex, and once the anabolic reaction is finished, you end up with this one bigger product. The product is glucose, for example. And if you can see here, the enzyme stays the same. It remains unchanged. Therefore, the active site here is free to combine with more hydrogen and hydrogen in the water and carbon dioxide, forming the enzyme substrate complex again, doing the anabolic reaction again, and then making the glucose product. So this goes on and on and on until all of the reaction has taken place. Catabolic reaction, on the other hand, the example is the breakdown of hydrogen peroxide. So we have seen this equation many times. I mean, you have seen this equation many times now. So catabolic reaction is the breaking down of a bigger molecules to smaller molecules. So here we have hydrogen peroxide, which is relatively bigger molecules comparing to its product, which are water and the oxygen. So catabolic reaction is a breaking down process whereby a bigger substrate is broken down into the two smaller products. And again, the substrate acts as the key, which binds perfectly to the active site of the enzyme, which is the lock, and forms this enzyme substrate complex. And this is where the catabolic reaction is happening. And finally, the enzyme will release the products, and the enzymes are free to bind with more substrate. So whenever you're thinking about anabolic and catabolic reaction, remember Anna and the cat. Anna likes to build things up. The cat, on the other hand, likes to break things down, just like anabolic and catabolic reaction.